We were expecting to get those answers at a press conference that happened here at the Election Commission about an hour ago. But the commissioners came out. They made a very brief statement about the fact there had been some technical problems on the night, apparently human problems and human error and computer problems. They didn't elaborate very much, but they did say that they will announce at 4 p.m., that's in a little less than an hour's time, a list of the constituency victories in each area in Thailand. But they didn't elaborate anymore, and that really leaves more answers than questions at this stage, because we've seen a process which has thrown up very different numbers, very different estimates as to who's in the lead, who's got the majority of the vote, who's going to take the seat. And again, because of the very complicated way this election has been set up by the military under a constitution that it pushed through, it disadvantages Pheu Thai. That was the party that's effectively won every election in Thailand since 2001. They still appear to have performed very well, but we can't tell how well. And that's also going to affect how the next government is being made up. At the moment, it looks like we're seeing an anti-military bloc and a pro-military bloc emerging. But which parties join which is going to depend on who's got the most votes. And that, at this stage, we just don't know.
We just don't know. And Tony, the King spoke on the eve of the elections. Has that had any effect, you think, or will that have any effect on the outcome?
It was certainly very unexpected. I have to choose my words carefully here because Thailand imposes very strict lèse majesté laws, particularly on the media, which are punishable by 30 years in jail. And it's a tool that the military have used with liberal abandon. Nonetheless, he said that Thai people, when they go to the polls, should choose good people, those are his words, to avoid what he referred to as chaos. Now, he referred back to a speech that his father had given some 20 years before. So it's not unusual, but the fact that he gave that speech on the eve of what was going to be a very decisive election certainly did make a difference. And if the numbers that we see, which are confirm that the military-aligned party has done very well, then perhaps it did have an impact. We know that a lot of older people are very concerned about stability here in Thailand. They don't want to see a return to the street protests that have really plagued this country for the last, well, nearly 15 years. So that may well have pushed them towards voting for General Prayut. We've also seen some fairly inflammatory statements from the head of the military suggesting that a coup could happen again if the right party didn't win the election. So there was never any suggestion about the fact that this was going to be a free and fair election. Most people accept that it wasn't. The fact that the vote itself and the count is being heavily disputed is a very big problem, however. And I think that's ultimately going to affect the legitimacy of anyone who comes out on the top as winner.